Hello, I am Xarkun, and this is World of Warships Legends. Today, I've got an overview of the patch notes for the March 2021 update, and as I talk about all of this, forgive any meows you might hear in the background. Today, my cat apparently thinks I'm having a conversation with him, so he keeps meowing at me, and I've had to try to record this like 5 different times now, so I just give up. If you hear him meow, I apologize. Anyway, before we get into the thick of things, I want to say a couple of things right off the bat. First, the video playing in the background is the sequel game to the Kamikaze game I featured in my recent video entitled Win So Hard You Lose. Second, this update will be pushed to consoles on Tuesday, March 9th, 2021, which is exactly 4 days after my birthday. That's right, my birthday is Friday, March 5th. And I will be streaming that day, so I hope to see as many of you there as possible. But now onto the content of the update. There actually isn't a whole lot to cover. The update is pretty lean in comparison to the past several, but I should say that I'm recording this video 2 days before the patch notes are live, so I'm reading an early draft of those patch notes. Wargaming has informed us that this early draft might be missing some information, and they did give us 2 little tidbits of information that don't appear in the patch notes to talk about. All I will say is British cruiser fans who missed a certain campaign for a Tier 6 premium light British cruiser might find one bit of information particularly exciting, but I will save that for the end. For now, I think this is a good segue to talk about the first section of the patch notes. Speaking of British cruisers, the British heavy cruisers are coming out of early access. This should be a surprise to no one. Starting Tuesday, March 9th, you will be able to grind the entire British heavy cruiser line. If you received the Tier 6 British heavy cruiser Surrey in a crate during the February 2021 update and completed the grind on it, you will be able to get the Tier 7 Albemarle as soon as Tuesday. Next up, we have the new campaign, which is called Taken by Storm. The reward is the Soviet compact light cruiser Ochakov. Hopefully I'm saying that right. This draft of the patch notes does not say what tier the ship is, but it does say the Ochakov has access to both a far-reaching radar consumable and a sonar. It also has 8-kilometer torpedoes, flat Russian gun ballistics, 152mm guns, and a, quote, narrow citadel profile that can result in a lot of over-penetrations from battleships' AP rounds, end quote. Oh, what a joy. I'm sure the people who plan to shoot at this thing will just love the sound of that. Ochakov's concealment and survivability are, according to the patch notes, quite average, so maintaining distance between yourself and the enemy will be necessary. Luckily, Ochakov is a pretty fast cruiser with a top speed of 35 knots, so you should be able to zip around the map, kite if you want to, and maybe it'll even be agile enough to be good at dodging incoming fire. Who knows? The campaign for the Ochakov is comprised of 5 weekly Havocs, and if you finish all of them early or buy out the campaign, you'll be able to earn steel in the same way you could at the end of the February campaign for Siegfried. Next up, we have Seasons 10 and 11 for ranked battles. Steel is also up for grabs in this game mode, and once again, this ranked season is completely different from what came before. Seasons 10 and 11 will be 2 3-day ranked sprints, occupying 2 weekends during this update. There are only 7 ranks to climb over these 3-day sprints. All of the ranks are irrevocable, and the top player on the losing team will not retain a star. If you want to check out the details on the rewards, you can find them in the patch notes. I provided a link to those in the description. Season 10 will take place between March 12th and March 15th and feature Tier 4 ships. Season 11 will run from March 19th to March 22nd and feature Tier 5 ships. Players will not inherit stars from previous seasons, given the limited number of ranks. Teams will consist of 5 players, divisions of up to 2 players are allowed, and destroyers will be limited to 1 per team and/or division, and the rewards for reaching rank 1 will be credited at the end of the season. Moving on to news that is more exciting to me than ranked is, a new American destroyer commander will be added to the game. His name is Albert Gleaves, and his skill set will boost concealment and torpedoes, which is nice since basically all of the current in-game American destroyer commanders are mostly gunboat skippers. This Gleaves guy might be a welcome option for anyone who thinks something like the Benham or Sims would benefit from a more torpedo-focused build, and I'll be interested to try that out on those ships in particular. Speaking of relatively new ships, the Bureau is getting new projects. This should come as a surprise to no one because they were out for rent earlier this year in January. We will be getting the Conqueror and the Gearing. The Worcester, which was also for rent earlier in the year, was not mentioned in the patch notes, but you can really only do 2 Bureau projects at the same time, provided you have premium time on your account, so, I don't have much to say on the Conqueror or the Gearing, since I already made first impressions reviews covering their rental versions. I should say that some changes are being made to the Bureau, though. Completed projects will be moved to an archive, so they don't clutter up the Bureau screen, and some projects will be going away after the update, namely the Legendary Birthday or Anniversary Project, whatever it's called, and the Red, White, and Blue one. If you have not started these projects, then you should probably do the Red, White, and Blue one because it gives you permanent camos for some American ships, and the reward at the end is the Tier 5 Premium American Battleship California, which is an excellent ship. So if you want that, you should start that Red, White, and Blue project now if you haven't already done so. Both of those projects that are going to end after the update are pretty short, so you should be able to complete them before the March update ends, but even if you can't, the patch notes do say that once you start one of these projects, it will remain available until completion unless otherwise stated. And weirdly enough, that's basically the biggest parts of the update. All we have left are some miscellaneous items of information. As we wrap up, we've got some balance changes to certain ships, some miscellaneous improvements, and announcements for a couple of new premium ships. So, ship balance changes are coming for Bismarck and Azuma. Bismarck's main battery accuracy will be improved by 3%, and the guaranteed ricochet angle for its main battery AP shells will be increased from 60 to 65 degrees, meaning it will get the chance to inflict damage on more steeply angled targets. Additionally, the penetration of Bismarck's AP shells will be increased by 4%. Azuma is also getting a 3% buff to its main battery accuracy. Its rudder shift is being decreased from 13.9 seconds to 10.7 seconds. Its repair party will generate 20% more hit points per second, and its main battery AP shells will start checking for ricochets at 50 degrees instead of 45, meaning, like Bismarck, it is receiving the potential ability to deal damage to more steeply angled targets with its AP. Personally, I would have liked to see the oppressively long reload on the Azuma's main guns reduced slightly, but it's not like these improvements are going to hurt the ship. The rudder decrease time is actually quite welcome. And now there's a list of other changes and bug fixes, but not all of them are all that interesting, so I'll only list the ones that I think are worth talking about. You can read the rest in the patch notes if you so desire. The spawn points on the shards map will be, quote, tuned a bit, end quote. Legendary ships will receive new spawn points, which will hopefully alleviate issues such as the insta-spotted Yamato issue that I identified in a video a while ago. There will be something, quote, special as we get closer to April Fool's Day. Expect details about what that is to appear in some form on March 18th. Odin, the Tier 7 premium German battleship that was a campaign reward ship a little while ago, will return to the game as a global XP ship, and you will be able to get it for 750,000 global XP, along with the Tirpitz, Monarch, Alabama, and all of those other ships. But we are coming to the end now, so let's go over the announcements for a couple of new premium ships and talk about the tidbits of information that Wargaming told us we could share. The two premium ships that will be expected to appear in the store during the update are the Tier 4 Italian cruiser Duca d'Aosta, or Aosta, I don't know how you pronounce it, and the Tier 6 Pan-European destroyer Xarkun, which I predicted a few days ago we might see. Although I didn't think we would see it this soon, and I didn't think it would be Tier 6. So this lends credence to my speculation that sometime in the future we might see a Pan-European destroyer line. But one word about the Xarkun, if you didn't catch my Pan-European speculation video, the Xarkun features a radar consumable on PC, so that should be interesting. But now, before we end, here are the two pieces of information that Wargaming said we could share. One of them will probably come as a welcome surprise for fans of HMS Belfast who don't own the ship. Wargaming says that the Tier 6 premium British light cruiser will, quote, be for sale, end quote. And that is literally all that they told us, so keep an eye out for further information on the Belfast. I know there's a lot of people out there who want that ship but don't have it, and your chance to get it might be coming soon. Also, there will be St. Patrick's Day content, but the description for that content was not in the draft of patch notes I received. But that information should be in the final draft if you are interested, and you can find a link to it in the description of this video. Anyway, there is your update overview. Let me know what you think in the comments. Tell me what you're looking forward to most, and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. I will see you next time. Goodbye.